Please don't do that.
When all the stars come out, that's when you hear the sound.
So nice to see you, and I took your suggestion, and I'm gonna do in between and talk about maybe the warp panel or the text wrap panel as you call it, and then look at also Adobe Photoshop and creating some kind of a channel. So hi everybody, it is Hannah, and just to give you some kind of background, I was about to stream today and my creative juices just went blank together. So of course I sent a message to my friend Andrea, who's online right now, and I said, please give me some ideas what to do. And this is, she suggested one of them is to look into masking and also look at masking in Photoshop and how it is interacting with Adobe InDesign. So I am here and I'm going to do that. And we have also Barbara online, and Barbara is an InDesign person as well. So hopefully, I don't know, I'm not gonna make any big mistakes, and I'm going to start showing you what I came up with. And maybe I'll do more masking next week and then compare masking between Illustrator and Photoshop, or maybe even just do a little project just to show you how I work. And every now and then, of course, I do that like I did a few weeks ago with workflow with Photoshop. So it's so great to see you guys. And I have a question for you before we start. I'm going to share the screen, and I want to ask you a question if you paid attention to that or not. And that's basically for you, Andrea, because you use a lot of Photoshop. So if I'm going to go to my brush panel, and if somebody else is online, you feel free to help me. So when you go to the brush panel, and I've been looking into it for like over a week, sending some question to the forum and everywhere, and I'm wondering if it's me or my computer or it's something that Adobe did to the brushes. So when you go in the flyout menu and you want to go in and get more brushes, so usually what you get is you're going to get this area here with Kyle, right? And then when you are going in here, Kyle's brushes used to be here, but they are not here. And then it tells you everything, because Kyle does not work for Adobe anymore. So it tells you Kyle's brushes are available to Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Fresco subscribers. Please sign in to download. So I'm going to go back. I am signed in, because you can go back here. You see this is who I am, and I'm signed in. But even if I go in to learn more about Photoshop, that's it. I don't see the brushes. And I got a link for one of the Adobe Photoshop product manager to say try this link. People kept telling you it's there, it's not there. Anybody knows anything about it, please let me know, and then I can go and with my day, is it me or is it my Photoshop? I restarted everything, I did everything over here, and then I don't see the brushes. Does not matter what I do, and I'm on the beta, on the regular one, different browsers, so I'm jumping from one browser to another, but it's not happening. So this is the question that I had for you. I know Kyle left Adobe, so he now works for Procreate and does the brushes with them, but he took the brushes with him, so you cannot download the brushes that we had before until 2024. This is actually my question, because he was working for them until he left. So I'm still wondering if I can, because I kind of wanted to go in and download the brushes. I downloaded some of them before, but I kind of wanted to download extra of them. So yeah, it is hard to imagine that he took it with them, but we'll check. Please check for me. I've been so busy with it, like, because I'm teaching a class with brushes in a few weeks, and I really wanted to show them how to download the brushes, and I always say in all my documents, hey, you have more brushes. I still have them on Fresco too, but where are the extra one? So if you hear about it, please let me know. And now we'll go back to our normal things and we'll talk about other things. So thank you if you're checking it out, and then we'll talk. I'm gonna look at the chat and then see if the future we have some answers, and I'm gonna repost it again in the forum with a screenshot, because I keep posting screenshot and people tell me it's there. No, it's not, at least not for me. So I'm in Photoshop right now, even though I said working with InDesign with the text wrap panel. And what I did today is kind of like pretending that I'm going to do a layout for a book, and which book you can go and get a lot of text. Of course, I chose Alice in Wonderland because it's public domain and a lot of the images are public domain. So I just decided to create some kind of a first page to it. And what I did over here, if I'm going to go to the properties panel and looking at that and into the layers, you can see my layers panel over here. And really what I did is I just went to, if I'm going to go back here to this area, because I made a smart object, I wrote down Alice in Wonderland with a rabbit, but before that I did some other stuff too. So okay, so you do have a word. Okay, so it gives you an ABR to download. Well, I went there and it didn't give me, but I'm gonna check it again and see. And if you have, I just took your link as well, and then I'm just gonna go back here and put it over here. And do you see anything? Gives you the ABR file to import. Okay, well, I'm gonna look into it and see if it does, because for me it didn't give me anything to upload or anything with it. Oh, you have them. Okay, so let's talk later, and then we'll see if you can send me later a screenshot where you went, and I'm gonna go in and look at it, because mine does not give me this anyway. So what I did here, I kind of first wrote Alice in Wonderland, of course, in Adobe Photoshop, and then I went to another Alice in Wonderland, which I didn't like, and I went to another Alice in Wonderland, and over here, I kind of had some kind of effects and everything here, and then styles, and in the end, I went to this variation, and I went to Alice in Wonderland, and this is the one that I chose. But I still did not like it as much, so then I made it into a smart object. And then in the smart object, I went to the filter gallery, and then if you're looking at the filter gallery, I worked with the graphics pen. I can even do it a little bit more or a little less. I'm gonna look at the strength over here, and then I can go diagonal and horizontal, so I can change anything. And if I click OK, this is what I got right now. So from here, I went directly into InDesign. So really what I'm showing you, and again, I could have done it actually in InDesign as well, and this is something that we're gonna do also over here. So I'm jumping over to InDesign. And then while I'm in InDesign over here, I already opened like 5-6 pages, and I'm going to go in and file and place, and I have the Alice in Wonderland, and I have chapter 1 over here. And again, I'm going to go back, I think, text part 1, and then I'm going to click OK, and then click and drag. And I'm really not paying attention to the layout at the moment. I'm just going to put it in there, and then I'm just going to go back here. Let's look at my, and then I'm just going to go in here. And like I said before, I just took it from online, and I have actually chapter 1 already over here. And then if I want to change some stuff, of course, I can go and beautify it and change everything that I want. So I can go in and select all and change the type. It is Minion Pro, and in this case, I am going to Minion Pro size 12. And then if I want to go into chapter 1, I'm going to go and find another kind of fun looking typeface, and maybe I'm going to say a decorative typeface, because this is kind of like an old-fashioned book. And I'm going to go in and look at something. Let's say I'm going to go in and just do this one, Alfarm. Oops, I did the Alfarm over here, and I didn't want it to go back here. I'm just going to go in and select it over here. Okay, I'm just going to go, it's all kind of like together. I'm going to exit out over here, and then I'm just going to do something that I usually don't do, but I'm going to make that a little smaller, and then going in and bringing the text as a standalone. Once again, I'm not talking about the layout so much, so I'm just gonna create something and make that kind of like a little bigger and make it from edge to edge. And I actually started, and I did it before with different kind of typefaces, but this is what I have over here. And then if I go back here, I can see that I have some spaces. Of course, when I'm going to go and work with it, I always show the hidden characters, and I can go and delete them. I can do it manually, and I can go in and do it not manually if I want to go and work with it. But as we said before, this is what kind of like I wanted to go in and play with it. I have the quotes and everything. So now what I'm going to do is, oh, and I did something here which is not good. So I'm just going to go back here and bring it over. And then I have the first page. So I'm just going to go back here. I have the pages, and I have the text. And then this is my first page, and of course I'm going to do file and place my file. And of course I can do show import option and see the layers that I have, and I have Alice in Wonderland, and then I have the background, and I'm going to click OK and bring it here. So I'm just going to go, and I didn't even prepare a text frame, an image frame. I just had it over here. I did also actually the first page already before, so if I wanted to bring it, I can go into file and open, and then I have the other first page if I don't really want to start working with the type and everything. I'm going to copy that and then paste it, and I do have kind of like the first style over here, and then I'm just gonna go in and copy the name of the author over here, and I can just go and paste in place, so it's gonna go directly in the place that I have. I can also go back to the original one, and over here what I did, I had kind of a drop shadow, so I'm gonna copy that and then paste in place, and then you can see that I can nudge it a little bit and then just put it below, and I have like a hard drop shadow. If you know my design from before, I'm not a person who loves drop shadows so much, so I'm usually trying to work with it to emphasize stuff, but I'm trying not to do so many things with drop shadows. So this is actually just our front and the cover, just to make sure that we have that. All good. So now I'm going to go into the main area. So let's look at how we're working with the wrap panel. And then I see Andrea is saying download into Photoshop, then out to, or Barbara is asking to get it into InDesign. No, you cannot get it into InDesign. So my question was actually not relating at all to InDesign, but since I show you here, I saw you here, I decided to ask kind of a question, because you cannot use brushes within InDesign, at least not yet. So what I'm going to do here is, you see the text wrap panel is over here, and then also you can see that in the window menu bar, and then sometime when you hold on the Option or Alt key and click, you can see it's coming in and out. So this is what I do most of the time. And I want to go and look at the stuff that I have. So I have no text wrap. I have wrap around bounding box. I have wrap around object shape. I have jump object, and I have jump to the next column. So I do that when I have columns, not as much, but I do it sometime when I need to go in and create the stuff. Yeah, I know, Barbara, no textures and patterns in InDesign. You can bring it for somewhere else, but then that's the stuff that, I mean, these are the limitation, because we are using it is a layout program. Maybe one day we'll see the brushes, because we'll see other stuff also with InDesign right now that was not there before. And by the way, I just saw today, because maybe I was late to the party, and I'm going to go back here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and maybe I didn't open, but we do have the history panel right now in okay, version history that we had from before, but you do have the history panel right now, and then you can go back and forth between stuff that you have. So the first thing I'm going to look is just the regular stuff here, that looking to text around a bounding box. So this is something super simple. So if I wanted to do any kind of image or any yeah, that's a very cool update. I'm just going to go in, and let's say I'm going to do a text, image frame over here, and then I'm going to just give it a color for now, to just, you'll see it. And look what I have over here. I have it over here already. And then since I already clicked, if I'm unclicking, it's going over the text. But if I'm clicking on it, it's basically pushes the text for me. And then now I can start working. So at this moment, I really have it just as a box right now. And then I can even go in and make it round corners. But now I'm going to look at the stuff and decide, how do I want it to wrap around? So I have both sides, left and right. I have right side, left side, side toward the spine, side away from the spine, and the largest area. So I'm going to go into the both sides right now, and then I'm just going to push that, and you can see that the text is starting kind of like to push over here. So if I wanted it to be a little less, I can unlink the area over here. Just click on the link button and make and unlink it. So in this case, I'm just gonna go back here, and then when I select it, I'm just gonna go back here and make it the bottom a little less. So you can see here now, I don't have a bigger space down, and it looks more or less even. So if I'm going to select, and a lot of time I'm going to right click first, and then I'm going to go fit fitting options, and then I'm going to do auto fit, and I do fill frame proportionally, and I know that by default, if you're going into, let me just go back here to Command or Control K, you have make content aware fit a default. So if I clicked on it, it will be content aware already by default, but I didn't turn it on right now, so I'm going to do my own one so I can just fit it in. So I'm going to right click in here. So now I'm going to do Command D, and then let's me put something in there. These images are really big, but I'm going to go in and put in a kind of, and I might put the same images again and again inside because I don't have so many images about Alice, and I'm going to go in and click on it, and then you can see the images in there. So of course, if I select that, you can see how big the image here. I can change the size to the image, and then if I select that and right click on it again in the fitting, fill frame proportionally, fit content proportionally, content aware fit. Let's see if it's going to go and do something. And this is actually not bad. So content aware fit looks kind of great here, and it is on the green background at the moment. So if I did not want a green background, of course I can select just the frame and then decide that I don't want to have a green background and it is white on white. And then you can see over here chapter 1 and down the rabbit hole. So basically it's about the rabbit. So I put the rabbit over there, and you can see it pushes it in this way. So really what I'm looking at here, how easy it is to do text wrap, because some people don't know that there is a text wrap panel, or maybe they're thinking I can just push it in and put some of the images and get some spaces. And some people do different kind of things, and I can show you ideas about what do you want to do if you have an image, and then you can have a hidden path to it and just do the text wrap with a hidden path that you have. So I have it here. Let me just go and make sure I'm not losing anything. So I'm going to go and save it, and I'm going to call it Alice, just in case. And by the way, while I have it over here, let me just look at the links panel over here. You see it's a PSD file. So if I'm going to go to the flyout menu, and then I'm going to say edit with, I'm going to go in and edit it with the default, let's say Photoshop, and this is what I have. So this is my original image. I mean, it wasn't that the original, but my image originally looked like that. I took it from the internet. I selected it with actually the magic wand this time, and then I have just the nice pencil things, and I can just do some stuff with it. So if I'm going to go in to convert for smart filters, and then I can add a nice filter to it, you'll see that something is going to change. Or I can even go in here and just do a hue and saturation. And then I'm just gonna go back here. No, I don't want to do hue and saturation. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go and do maybe a gradient fill over here. And then I'm just gonna go and maybe make that with blue gradients. And then I'm just gonna go back here and see if I want it as an overlay. Do I want it multiply? So let's say if I want it multiply and I save it right now, if I jump of course to InDesign, you can see that automatically I got everything that I do. If I don't want to go to Photoshop, because sometimes people don't use so much Photoshop, and maybe they don't have Photoshop while they're using InDesign, I also can go back here and have a plain background, but then I can click on the background, make it some kind of blue, and then I can double click on the image itself, and I can go in and work with blending modes over here. So if I'm going to go to my effects panel over here, and then I'm going to go to a blending mode and look at the preview, you can see that the rabbit is taking the color from the image and the size that I have. So I can leave it the way I want. But really what I'm doing right now is talking about working with text wrap over here. So let's move on with it and see what else can we do here. So I'm going to do file and place. And now I'm not actually doing anything, and it is the same image over here. And then I'm going to see the preview over here and click OK. And maybe I'm going to click and drag and create and put the image over here. So now I'm putting the image over here to this side, and I'm jumping over to my text wrap again. And then in this case, I'm going to go to the third button over here, wrap around object shapes. So I'm seeing both sides, left and right. Nothing is really happening to me. And then I'm looking at bounding box. I'm just going to go and select it. And I'm looking bounding box. It doesn't really work. But then I'm going to go into detect edges. And then once I'm going to go back here, it detects the edges that I have. Not sure that I have an alpha channel there, and that's why I'm not sure. So I might go back to, and oh, I put the JPEG, so I definitely don't have it. So I'm just gonna go in and go and bring the PSD file and click and drag. And then I'm going to go to the third one, and then I'm just going to go, and now I'm going to click on the alpha channel. So what does it mean that I have the alpha channel there? Let's check it out. And that was actually one of Andrea's ideas. Use the alpha channel to see what's going on over here. So I'm just going to select that. I have the alpha channel. I could also detect the edges if I wanted, and that will detect the edges around here. I also can go back here and say segment clipping, but I also can go back here and go to my object panel over here and look at the clipping, and then I'm going to click at the options over here, and now I can see the alpha channel over here. So I'm going to click here and look at this. You get the real preview that I have. And over here, I can really start playing with the threshold. I'm just trying to play with the tolerance. I can even include inside edges if I have, and then restrict it just to the frame. And if I'm going to click OK, I basically can go in and select that. And of course you need to move it around. So it has to make sense, because at the moment what I have right now, I'm moving it, and I have some extra text over here. So I might want to go in and make sure that it is pushing the stuff. And by the way, we have also the contextual panel over here, like we have in Photoshop now, and we have in Illustrator. And then I can say and pin it over here, and then can do some other stuff directly. So do I like that it's moving with me? Not me, but some people really like it. I usually pin it somewhere and then go to it, because when it starts jumping around me, I'm not that crazy about it. But it is actually depending how I want to go and work with it. So if I go in here, I might go to the text and then change a little bit the text over here. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to do maybe a shift return. So you can see I'm going to need to work a little bit with the text, not to get some reverse around here for that. So this is the things that you have to take into consideration when you're going in and working with the clipping. I can also go in and make it kind of like a little smaller, and I'm gonna let it be until I really like the idea that I have it. So this is actually looking at my alpha channel that I have here. Let me check it out and see what I have. So I'm gonna edit it, and I have Photoshop Beta open right now. And then do I have an alpha channels over here? I'm gonna go in to select and load selection, and I don't have the alpha channel. I mean, let me see if I have. Yes, of course, I have the mask over here. Did I save it? Not sure. Let me see if I saved the selection. So I'm gonna go in, select and load selection. I don't have that, but if I really want to save an alpha channel, I'm gonna command click over here because I didn't move it, and I'm going to go to select and save selection and say call it rabbit. I did have it probably in the other image. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna go back here and save that, and I'm gonna go back here, or I'm gonna save that, and then jump over to InDesign. So once I'm in design, it will read my channel. So I kind of wanted to make sure it will read the mask, it will detect the edges, and it'll do that. Yeah, Andrea said you can change the wrap one side only to prevent the text from going on the wrong side. So if I'm gonna select here, yeah, I didn't even pay attention over here. So maybe I'm just gonna go and make it to the left side, or I'm gonna make it to the right side. And then you can see over here, I'm clicking over here and just do the alpha channels. And then you can see that I'm selecting the image right now, and then I can see it in different kind of places. So I can go and work with it in different kind of ways. But for now, I'm just gonna take it away, and I'm not gonna worry about the type because I wanna do some other stuff and put another image that I have. So I can do file and place. And then I have an image that says Alice head. I just did that. And then I have the background for it. And I have just the layer. I should name my layers even when I do that. And this is Alice head over here. And then I can go in here and just bring it here. So how do I want to have it here? Maybe I want to have it no wrapping, or maybe wrap it around over here. Both left side, maybe I'm going to do only on toward the spine, or maybe I'm going to go in away from the spine, so you can see it takes it away from the spine. I'm going to do it on the right side, and I'm unlinking it and deciding where do I want to do it. And then I'm just going to select that and then see if it is going. So over here, I'm probably gonna say maybe if I have detect the edges, and then let's see if I have, and now it detected the edges that I had over here. So depending how I want to do it, let's do it on the left side or on the right side, and I'm going to go back here and push the stuff to the area that I want. Or I'm gonna go back here and go into both sides and start kind of working. This is the part that I need to start playing with it a little bit more, and then I can start selecting that and start seeing. So I'm detecting the edges. I don't have an alpha channel there, or I do have an alpha channel, and now I can go in and just click on that. And what do you think I should click on, Andrea? To side away from the spine, the larger area, what would you do over here? So to make it look a little bit better, because the text, I didn't even do anything with the text in here because I just wanted to play with the image wrap over, the text wrap over here. So I'm gonna go in and go to the left side. You see it jumping all the way to the other side, which I'm not really crazy about that. I'm going to go to the right side, looks a little bit better, but I'm gonna need to deal with the text over here and start playing with the stuff. So this one, when I went to it, I just created a circle and then put the head of Alice directly into it just to play. Can I go in and put it somewhere else? Absolutely. Oops, I took it all the way here. You're gonna have to make sure I'm selecting the right thing over here. But you can see now, if I'm going to go in to another area, and then I can go in and put it in the middle of the area. Oops, again, it's my Wacom tablet is not really working for me today. So I'm just gonna go back here, and you can see now it's to the right side. I can do it to the left side, and all of a sudden maybe I wanted something to look like that. So you like the text image with smaller padding sides. Okay, that's really really a good idea. So you do like a smaller padding sides over here. So sometime I'm gonna go in and do the smalling padding, and look what I have right now. I have the image, and of course I can put it in both sides and kind of like work with it. So let's go and do file and place. And now I'm gonna have this rabbit over here, and I do have a lot of images for Alice, because I'll tell you why I use it. I actually use it to image trace a lot in Illustrator. And I'm just gonna go back here and put it over here. So this one absolutely went right away without like the background that I have. And then I'm just gonna click here and say same as clipping. And I do have an alpha channel over here. So now you can see it will read the alpha channel over here, and then also it will detect the edges. So you can see it's detecting the edges. So no longer what I'm trying to show here, you do what it used to be, used to be before. Because before the text wrap that it's so cool, people used to go in and draw something around it to create a clipping, and now you basically don't have to do that. So I'm gonna go in again. I can do the left side, I can do the right side over here, and now I can go in and do the padding, and now it's gonna look a little bit better. I'm just gonna select that here and Command exit, and maybe I want to go to put that in the next page, and then paste it. And now I can see that I have it just at the edge of the area. See, now it doesn't really work for me. Great. So I'm just gonna go in and maybe do it both sides, and all of a sudden I have it. So I'm gonna click on the W again, and here I see the edge, and I can move it around, and all of a sudden it looks a little bit better. And then I can read the stuff. One thing that I am guilty of, and I can tell you all the time about it, I am so into looking at the area that I have that I'm not paying attention usually to the text, and all of a sudden I have areas that I'm missing the text, and then I'm reading it, I'm like, what happened over here? Well, you do have some area that you have missing text, and it's not okay. So always check out to see if everything is in there, and then select the text frame that you have, go to Command Y, go to your story editor, and see that nothing is missing for you over here. So you kind of want to go in and always check it out while you have. So again, always go to story editor and make sure you don't see the overset text. Let me look. Andrea said, I like using a mouse with InDesign because the tablet pen seems to get confusing. Absolutely. And guess what I just did? I just went in and used the mouse because it just didn't click on the right place. And then I got so frustrated because it doesn't click on the right stuff. When I use Illustrator and use Photoshop, absolutely I'm working with that the whole time. all the time. So what else do we have here to pay attention to? So I'm just gonna go in here and just create for position only maybe a rectangle, because it needs to be over here, and maybe let's, why do I say so many times maybe? This is not okay. Okay. And I'm just gonna go and put it on top, and maybe I want to put some stuff. Again, I said maybe. So now I can go in and I have a text wrap over here. I can wrap it around, and then if I go in and put it here, you can see that I have the text wrap over here. So one of the things is to pay attention to, I'm just gonna go back here, and let's go back here to the text frame, and I'm just gonna go and put it here, but I'm just gonna go and type something, and then I'm gonna say hello and bring it here. And then if I'm gonna go and move it sometime over, sometime you're not gonna see the text that you do, so you do need to go to your text frame options and then ignore the text wrap while you have it. So then you make sure you see the stuff and it doesn't look at the text wrap. So if you don't see stuff that you type and you have a text wrap underneath it or in between, you need to go and do the Command B or text frame options, and then go back here and click on text frame options, and then say ignore wrap, text wrap, and then you can see that it is going to work, because sometime, and if you have it there, it will just not let you type around, because it will read the text wrap for you, and all of a sudden you're not going to see stuff that you're doing. So that's kind of like an advice to go in and work with it. Well, I'm going to go back all the way here to the top, and I'm going to, and pretend I have more chapters, of course. So I'm just going to go in here and bring it over. Oh, I wanted to go in and option click or alt click to basically duplicate it. And now I have it over here, and I have this rabbit just going in here. So now while I'm selecting it, I kind of wanted another image in there, and I don't have it, and I can go to Photoshop and start looking if I have some stuff, or go into text to image in Photoshop and it's new there, and I can go in and say I want to have another Alice, but I can do it over here too now. This is what I wanted to show you, so you can have text to image better in here inside InDesign. Here Surendra. Hello Surendra, nice to see you. Let us know where you're coming from, and did you use InDesign before? We're looking at kind of interactions between InDesign and Photoshop, going back and forth, and especially when you have an alpha channel, meaning when you save your selection. And alpha channel is really something like big with Photoshop, and people are so scared of it. And I always tell them, don't think alpha channel, think selection, think selection. I always tell them, quietly tell yourself, think selection, think selection. Everything is going to go and be okay. I'm just going to put it to both sides. I kind of like that. I actually like this image a lot. This is really cool. I found it online. It's public domain. Everything with Alice is public domain. This is absolutely great images to do image trace in Illustrator and then create all kind of fun stuff with it. I do that a lot with that. So I'm going to click here and somebody give me a prompt. So I'm going to go in and let's say, what should I say? The white rabbit is not good because it's a white background, but I'm going to say Alice in Wonderland holding the rabbit and the cards. and make sure I'm not making any mistake. And I'm going to go in and generate. So I love and have, oh, they have sample prompts over there. I didn't even look at it at the moment. And then, ooh, I don't like it already, but it's okay. And you can see that I have that, and I have this one, and I have this one over here. So you can see that I have both of them over here. And if I'm gonna select the image, I have, and I can go in back and forth between them. So I have that, and then it just went in. I have also another prompt over here, and then I have different sample prompts. So rate your result, let us know how is it going, and things like this. So you can see that it is kind of working in here. And then it is weird because before, oof, this is so awkward. And then I'm gonna click on another one, and it is going to go in. And actually, once I have it here, I can go in and have that over here, and look what it gives you. It gives you the entire size of the image if I want to go in and just click on it. So I have the other one, but before that, you can see over here. So I thought there is a way, and I remember doing it. So there is a way over here, so I can go back here and look at the stuff, and let's see if I can go back here and detect the edges, the graphic frame over here, same as clipping that you have here, and then I can go and do the image wrap through it again over here. So again, I can go in here. It is in, I can go back to the area, and it is linked over here. So it is a JPEG. So the problem that I have here, because it's a JPEG, and I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to say go to link or embed the image or edit with. It's not going to let you do it directly from here because it is still related to the stuff that I have over here. But you can see that I can go back here and create another one here, and then have another image over here. So I see Elijah is here, and where are you signing in from? You have all the information about which jobs. I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, that's cool that you're working. But I'm going to ask you, Andrea, there is a way actually to tell the entire image, actually do a image text wrap with it. Because I remember doing it before, and all of a sudden, I just cannot find it. I think it's this one over here. So I'm going to go click here, and I'm going to go in. Oh, that's content aware fit, content aware over here. That's kind of like, I'm going to go back here, and it's basically not that. So I'm just going to have to investigate it, because I remember placing something directly from Photoshop, and then looking at stuff and then working with it. But of course, I can take it back to Photoshop, and then I can create some stuff with it. So what you can do now in InDesign, actually you can go in and generate different stuff with text to image if you want to go in and do that. And then the content aware fit is actually part of it over here. And I wonder if it is empty. It's probably not gonna do anything for me at the moment. So I can go in and relink the image, and then I'm going to put another image in there. And then let's say I have this image over here, and then I'm just gonna go in and put another image that has some kind of adjustment. I don't like this. I'm just gonna take it away. This is just to show you that you can have text to image over here within inside InDesign, and you have variation in generate. Is it as robust as in Photoshop? Not yet, because in Photoshop you can have your style and the effects and everything to it, but at least you can do something with it. So when I'm going to go back here again, this one has an adjustment, and then it has detect edges over here, so I can see the edges that I have. I don't have a alpha channel there, so because the background is kind of white, it might look better over here with that. So I'm gonna go and include the area inside, and basically what you get with that over here. If I'm selecting that, and then I'm going to go in and edit with, and I'm going back to that, I'm gonna click here, and you can see that I have an overlay mode, and then I might go back here and have a linear, and I'm gonna select that, and now I'm going back to InDesign and things. I'm going to go back here and change over here. Okay, so what do you mean you have it with the object style? If you have something just with an image, and let's say I'm gonna go in and click stuff over here, and then if I'm selecting it, or maybe I have an image that's not from, I'm gonna go into window and go into style and go into object style. Barbara is asking over here, how do you lock the image to the text so if it moves, the image moves with it? Oh, I'm not really locking, so because if I have that, it is, you want the image to move or you want the text to move? That's the idea over here. So I can lock the image itself, and if I move, just the text will move. But right now what the image is doing is looking at the way I'm wrapping the text. So if I'm going even to the fourth one, it will jump, and if I go into the last one, it will jump to the other area that I have. Is that the question? Both together. So how do you lock the image to the text so if it moves together? So you mean like if I go and move it around? Yeah, well, you can group it, I think. That's what I will do. And you select in one image and select the other one. I can group them together. And now if I go and move it, you see it's moving together. Oops, I didn't group that. But I'm gonna select one and go select the other one and select the other one, and I'm grouping it. So now they are together, so they are going to move. See that? So sometime I will do it, and then I'll group the text and the image together, and they're gonna move it together for me. But I'm going to, does that make sense? And is that the right answer, Andrea? I think so. But if I'm going to go to window, and let's say I'm going to styles, and I'm going to go to object style. I think I opened my object style. So what does it mean over here? If I go to the new object style. So default frame style, load object style, select all, edit all over here. I remember seeing it, and for the life of me, I cannot find it right away. So we can go into the review over here, and then what can I do with the stuff that I have over here? So I'm going to frame fitting option I have, which is not, okay, I'm gonna click on the frame fitting option, and then it is going to go back here. Text footnote, that's not here. I'm gonna look at it for a minute. Fill stroke, text frame column rule, text frame baseline option. Okay, text wrap and others. So maybe it's this one that I have over here. So I'm looking at that, invert, apply only to parent. I'm gonna click over here to see that and see what I saw is that it just takes it and takes the background and takes it away. So you can anchor the image, absolutely, yes. the image can be certain, but could be an anchored, and that's really going to be great. Yeah, I thought about that. Thank you, Andrea. Anchor the image, and then it's absolutely moving with it. So you start going in and anchor the image into the area. But I'm looking at this one, so I don't see it over here. Or maybe is it gone? Or is it something that I dreamed about? Okay, for object, for stroke, for text. So that's kind of like, that's the object. I'm gonna figure it out and look at it, but we'll see what I meant over here. But yes, I can go into an object and then I can move it over here, and then you can always go back here to your object, and then you do the anchor objects that you have. So I do a lot of anchored object while I have. So let's say if I exit out, and then I want to go in and just put it somewhere over here, I'm going to go in and paste it in, and now it is an anchored object. So if I'm going to go back here to the anchor object, you see the anchor over here, and now you can go to object and anchor and see the options, and now you're going to start playing with it. Where do you want to have the image? How do you want to anchor it? And then you can see I'm taking the rest. Oh, it is, the leading is too much, but I'm going to go back here. You want it to have above, you wanted the alignment to be to the center, and then you can say prevent manual positioning. So now once you have that, yes, it's there. And then I'm gonna go back here, and it is going to go in and work with me directly with it. So anchor object is great. Are you trying to have the image automatically wrap? Yes, that's what I was trying to do. I saw something that you have a Photoshop image with something and it wraps it to the image itself. And that's what I was trying to do. For example, we can repaginate the text and then the image will stay together. Absolutely. And that's why you use anchored image. I don't know if I like anchored images all the way. A lot of time I will use anchored image, and I'll tell you when I use it. I use it when I do tables, because a lot of time the tables are flying away for me for the other side, and I'm gonna go in and use that. Sorry. I'm gonna investigate it soon and see what I meant. I don't know why I didn't investigate it today, but you can see here, if I go back here, I don't see the image over here. And then if you click on it, sorry. I'm gonna go and drink some water. You don't want me to start coughing like crazy. That's when I get really excited. And you can see I have another frame to it. So basically, this is what I wanted kind of like to look today into it. And now you can see I moved it over here. And then I moved it here because I went to the frame. And then if I go and bring it back, you can see it's bringing back over here. So it's all kind of linked one to each other over here. So anytime when I'm using that, instead of just drawing on it, I'm just gonna go back here and create. A lot of time I will do something absolutely different. Let's say I'm just gonna go back here and I'm gonna draw something. So once I'm drawing something, I'm going to go in and select it, and then I can't even see what I was drawing over here. Didn't you like to see, you want to have in design, I'm going to go back here. Okay, let me just go back here and do it somewhere else. And and then I'm gonna go, so I'm just gonna click on it and then move it around. So I can just draw something or just have, like, let's say an ellipse over here, and the ellipse absolutely is going to be with no drawing on it. And you can go in and create something, and you can see that I can go in and move the ellipse and have it to wrap around. So I can go and have simple images without anything on them and then wrap around the area that I have. So depending what you're going to do, I made the mess over here with everything that I just did right now, but you can see here I didn't save it, so you can see the images that I have. And then I'm going to go in, and of course if I go to a presentation, it is not something that, okay, so the front's gonna look pretty good, and then I have one chapter here, and now I have something that really a loose end that I have over here because I didn't really play with it kind of like the right way. But you can see the whole idea. Look how beautifully the third rabbit is actually over here. This one over here is not looking so good. So if I command click on it, and then I'm gonna click on that, I can go and move it and see that it is going to move around to the areas that I have. And now you can see that it's pushing the stuff that I have. So depending on the images that I have, so really what I kind of like to prepare stuff directly in Photoshop and create everything that I place in InDesign is absolutely Photoshop file. I see Andrea say, if you create an object style to wrap an image, then have that object style selected, then all the image that you place should be within. Yeah, this I know. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for something that I saw before, that you can place an image that it is a Photoshop file and automatically it is going to do it for you. I don't know where I read it, but I know I create actually an image style to everything by default, and right away I have it. I actually create it also in a template. So once I create it in a template, all what I need to do is just to plug in the images that I have, and then I have that. So kind of like this is the idea that I was looking for. But I will investigate it. I looked today at different places and I couldn't find it, but maybe it is something that I dreamt about. That, you know, but I will investigate it. It was something that you put a Photoshop file with an image in it, and it's just gonna create an automatic frame around. Like it's kind of like find the object for you right away inside the area, if that's what I meant. I mean, maybe I was dreaming. But you can see here, sometimes I just gonna do stuff like that. So I just gonna go back here and just have an image around, and then I'm just gonna go and play with it, and then I can look at that, and then again I can go to object and I can go to clipping. I don't have an option over here because I don't have anything in there, but I can go back here and deselect and go to W, and I can create stuff like that. So this is the part I really like to do sometime. Play with the text and show that the text has round places to go with, but basically it is not the text, it's basically this circle that wraps around over here, and I can create some kind of effect while using it with empty text, and then I mean empty images with nothing in there, and now it's gonna look something like that. If I want to put the image in there, I can, but I wonder if I can go back here and put the image over here. It should be, yes, absolutely. So now I'm gonna go back here and then select that, and you can see where I put the image from. I put it from my text to text to image, and then I'm going to fill it proportionally, and now right away I have it here. So now I'm going to select it, and now I'm going to go in and push it a little bit. So you see kind of like a different look, and this is, I like that. So do you understand what I was trying to do? I know. And then that's kind of like you can start playing. So if I'm gonna find, I think I have a template, and I think I showed it to you a long time ago, but if I'm going to go to my Adobe classes, and I'm going to go into over here, or maybe I'm going to go, no, I don't have it here. Maybe I have it in USC, ACA, in my classes that I teach in USC. I'm going to go into my InDesign over here, and then I have some templates over here that I can work with. And then look at this, weekly assets over here. And I think, no, that's the event. Everything that I do, I'm going to go in and make that with a template, and the templates that I have object style. So almost everything that I have here has an object style. For the life of me, I don't know where I put it in there, but you have to believe me that I do have that somewhere. No, it's not the travel guy. Look at me. I'm gonna go through the entire thing. But even if I have like the threefold brochure over here, and then I'm just gonna go back here and open the stuff over here. I'm going to update and modify the links. I do have a template for that, and then I do have object style to everything that you see, and you'll see that I have text wrap in it, is it's part of my object style. Hopefully it will oh, why is it not opening? It's not even a big file at all. But yay, I don't know why is it doing it. Now it's going to be completely stuck for me. And then why is it not opening? My InDesign was really weird lately. I had to reinstall everything, and now of course I am not able to open a simple file that I had from before. So when you're in doubt, you go to InDesign, and what do? You quit and quit it, and then I'm just gonna go back here and maybe open it again, and then see if it is going to open again. So this is actually what I wanted. I want to know if it was helpful. I wanted to know, I was talking to Andrea this afternoon, and she suggested, and I thought oh, look at this. It is showing up over here. It's this is showing up over here now, and that's why I crashed. So you can see, this is what I opened here. It didn't open before, but now it's, yeah, I'm restarting. I always do it. But now you can see over here, if you go into the denser over here, and then I'm going to go to my text wrap over here, you can see I have both left and right, alpha channel and transparency, because if I'm going to go in, you see I have an alpha channel around the denser over here. And if I'm going to select the denser and go to the links panel, I'm going to have to relink it right now, but basically I have the denser over here, and then I can relink it if I want, but the denser has an alpha channel around it, so it's looking great. These guys also, you can see here, they have a style to them. So everywhere that I'm going here, and I'm going to go to window and style and object styles, you can see that I have a style with a drop to everything that I have. So when I selected this area here, this is also a style with a drop. If I go into Command or Control B to text frame options over here, look what I have here. I have ignore text wrap from below. If I don't want to ignore the text wrap, it's just going to be in a weirder place, and now it's going to the right place that I have, and it's all looking great. So these areas, everything has basically takes, styles and wrapping around. So it's telling me exactly how to wrap around for this area, and you can see all of them the same. So if I'm going to go back here and edit that and do anything to this in a different way, I can go in, let's say I'm going to go to a stroke, and then I'm just going to give all of it a stroke, and I'm going to give it all maybe a different style over here. You see, everything is getting another stroke to all of it. So that's how I like to work. I'm creating style to everything, which I didn't do it in the other a minute ago when we start playing with the stuff. So the whole area here, I do have style to everything. I have paragraph style, character styles, everything with it, object styles, wrapping around, and everything is kind of to the place. And then I can go in and strip it again and make it into a template and place everything back in there. So you can see here that I do have a lot of wraparound. This one doesn't have it right now, but if I go in and put it kind of like on top, and then maybe it is, and then I can go back here and select that. You can see I have the wraparound around that, and now it's wrapping around the area that I have. So the same is clipping or detect the edges, and you do have edges over here. So if I'm gonna go in and move it around, you can see the notes have different kind of edges in terms of that, and I can go and move it around. So kind of wanted to show you that, and wanted to make sure that I'm gonna go, I know I crashed over here, but if I go back to my pages, you can see over here, oh, this one is another one from before. That's my old Alice, that's my new Alice, that I have everything here. And really what I wanted to do is, based on Andrea's suggestions, I wanted to work with alpha channels and masking and show you why is it so important to select. And don't you like this rabbit over here? I just love it. I don't know why I love this rabbit so much. It looks like somebody painted it with watercolors, and yeah, kind of looking good. I still getting used to this idea over here. Really don't really like some of the images that I'm getting over here. I just don't like that. And then I'm going to, just don't like it. It is basically, if I'm going to go in to that, and then I'm going to go in and embed it, and then it is a JPEG to it, so I can copy and paste it in Photoshop and put it back here. Yeah, Barbara agrees. It's very old-fashioned and detailed, Robin. Love drawing and paintings like that. And usually what I do, and maybe we'll do it next week, we'll take it and do some fun image tracing with Illustrator. Because these are the images that I show my student to start playing in Illustrator, and then image trace with that. And then maybe we're going to go in and do some stuff with masking. So with that said, I think I am done. Please, Andrea, send me the link for the stuff for the brushes, and I can check it out too and see if it's working for me. And then also investigate with me about what I was dreaming about with InDesign, about placing an image that it takes it right away and wraps it around. I know I read something about it, but we'll see. Because this is what I like. Oh, you already texted it for me. This is one of the reasons that I like to do the streaming, because people give suggestion to each other. Because when you work at home as a freelance artist, and you teach at school too, but I'm kind of like, I want to get inspiration for other people. And this is why I like all our special conventions. Looking forward to see you, Andrea, in October in Adobe Max. And that's when we can share our knowledge and see what other people are doing and listen to other stuff and people gives ideas the whole time. And this is why I keep streaming online, and not just to show you, wow, I know how to do everything. No, I don't. And I always ask for help, and I always like to share the creativity and make it happen for all of us. So this is my speech for today, and hopefully thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next week. Andrea said that she agreed. And then Barbara, thank you for coming always, and thank you everybody else for joining us today. And I will see you next week, same time, and hopefully we'll get more creative and new stuff. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, or morning, or whatever you are. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.